Hello there.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee. It's truly a blessing to have you watching here today. If you're a daily coffee drinker, welcome back. But if you're new to the channel, I would like to encourage you to subscribe. We have a great community of fans here at Star Wars Coffee. They're always very supportive of one another and of my efforts, and that is something that I truly appreciate, telling me to put my health before content. And I really do appreciate that, and I do my best to respond to the comments. So if that sounds like something you'd like to have, is me responding to your ideas or your thoughts on a video, this is the place for you. But with that being said, let's get into today's video. I wanted to take today's video to talk about one of the scenes from the movie that we get that extra context for, which is the main reason I love these novelizations. And the scene I wanted to talk about was Leia being shot and then going out into space and everybody thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna die, and then uses the Force to come back in. And I wanted to talk about specifically how Kylo would have saved her. The novelization clues us in as to how he would have done that, so in order to get you guys the full idea, I'm gonna read an excerpt from the book. "Target the main bridge," he said. His mother would be there. He knew. It wasn't Leia Organa's style to lead from the rear, or to put her own concerns above whatever cause she held dear at a given moment. For a moment, Kylo let himself recall his parents' worried conversations behind closed doors, the ones they deluded themselves into thinking he wouldn't know about. Conversations about the anger and resentment that had boiled over once again in their son. Conversations in which they talked about him like he wasn't their son, but some kind of monster. They were frightened of him, he realized, and so they got rid of him, sending him away to his Uncle Luke, whose betrayal would prove far worse. But Ben Solo was no more. Kylo had shed his childhood identity and the pathetic weakness it represented. Han Solo's days of cheating and disappointing people were over. The New Republic was destroyed, and now the Resistance, the last of his mother's causes, would follow it into extinction. The heavy cruiser's bridge was bracketed in Kylo's sights. He glanced at his instruments, verifying that his torpedoes were loaded and armed. His mother was indeed there. He could feel her familiar presence in the Force, and he could sense her determination and focus, along with a deep weariness, and sorrow, and worry. It's too late to be sorry, Mother, though you're right to worry, he thought. His thumb hovered over the trigger, even as his senses drank in the impressions from the Force. The panic on the bridge ebbed and flowed around the calm focus that was his mother. Her anxiety pulsed in the Force, in this last moment before her death. But she wasn't afraid. She was worried for him, he realized, and she wasn't angry. She ached for him to come back to her. Kylo depressed the trigger slightly, not quite enough to fire, and then he lifted his thumb. He couldn't do it. A moment later, Kylo's wingmate fired. The torpedo sheared through the bridge of the Raddus and exploded. In a nanosecond, it became the center of an expanding envelope of overpressurization that hurled crew members and equipment in all directions, shattered the viewports and buckled the bulkheads, separating the bridge from the rest of the ship. Then the torpedo's payload of superheated plasma vaporized everything that the blast wave hadn't flung into space, leaving behind a ruin of twisted, blackened metal already cooling in the vacuum. The explosion buffeted Kylo in his cockpit. If he had known, he could have stopped the torpedo, freezing it in space with a thought. But he had been surprised. Now he couldn't sense his mother. The shock had shattered his focus, leaving him breathing hard behind his controls yoke. This excerpt really gives us a lot into Kylo's emotions and what he's thinking at this moment in the film, what he's about to do. He knows his mother's about to die, and they're clearly sensing each other through the Force, which is fantastic. And you could really tell that during the film and the live action, but it's just really that much more now in this novelization, so the next time you actually watch the film, you'll know what the two are thinking, and it'll just be that more intense. It's really interesting to see Kylo be extremely worried and teeter-totter back and forth between these emotions that he's feeling of wanting to save her, wanting to end the Resistance. He just can't make up his mind. He's split. Killing Han really did take his spirits to an all-time low, barely rendering him useful in this mission. That does it for me here in this episode of Star Wars Coffee. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw and you want some more from Star Wars Coffee, you can go ahead and follow the channel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SW Coffee YouTube. Have some other big things in the pipeline, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for those things and enjoyed this video. That does it for me here in this one. Once again, it's a blessing to have you support the channel and watch this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you.